Well, we made it through another great season of My Hero Academia, folks. So you know what that means. It's time to wildly speculate about Season 5. So, Season 4 begins with the world still reeling from the loss of All Might. The #1 superhero's untimely retirement has caused a massive increase in villain activity. Meanwhile, Midoriya is eager to start busting out his fancy new provisional hero license. He goes to work under All Might's other pupil, Sir Nighteye, which is, by the way, my favorite My Hero Academia name ever. The two set about taking down Overhaul and his band of followers, the 8 Expendables. Midoriya defeats Overhaul with a 100% attack that proves that he's worthy to be All Might's successor. He wins the day, but loses Nighteye as the latter hero breathes his final breath. There's also a school festival that gets attacked by villains, but what doesn't in My Hero Academia, honestly? If they ever have a prom episode, you just know that's going to be crashed by at least a few villains and the Nomu or two. Midoriya takes on the villain Gentle Criminal and saves the day yet again. Meanwhile, the current successor to All Might's #1 status, Endeavor, is endeavoring to prove his worth as a symbol of hope. He and the #2 hero, Hawks, take on a powerful Nomu named Hood. It's a tough battle, but ultimately Endeavor proves that he's got that whole symbol of hope thing down. For now, anyway. The season ends with Midoriya having a strange dream about all of the former One-for-All users. And then, because they're super mean, the episode closes out for us to only speculate about until Season 5. As far as Season 5 goes, there's one thing that we know will start the series with 100% certainty. That's right, you'll hear it here first, folks, as I tell you that the new MHA season will start with another recap episode. Seriously, the last 2 seasons have both begun with somewhat needless recap episodes. It seems inevitable that Season 5 will as well, and thus our waiting for the story to pick up again will be prolonged yet another week. So in Episode 2, where we'll actually get a good start on the season, Midoriya will have to contend with that strange vision of his. You see, All Might made no mention of any ability to speak with past One-for-All users. It seems as though Midoriya might be tapping into a new ability that not even All Might was able to use. We also see what appears to be the origins of the quirk, as the first user reaches out to Midoriya, presumably to tell him something. Now let's put on our best Sir Nighteye glasses and investigate this scene further. You see, there's only one reason why Midoriya would have a vision like this. There's obviously some sort of mystery about the origins of One-for-All and All-for-One that Midoriya needs to contend with. The last we saw All-for-One, he was chillin' in prison, not too concerned with the fact that he just lost to All Might. It seems almost certain that Midoriya will have to face him soon. Seeing as they're setting up All-for-One's protege Shigaraki as the main villain of the series, I think that confrontation between Deku and All-for-One is coming in the next season. I think next season we're gonna see All-for-One bust out of Tartarus and wreak havoc on the world stage. Endeavor will do his best to take him on, but it won't be enough. If Endeavor gets mortally wounded, it could prove to be the time when Todoroki finally forgives his horrible father. Or maybe not. Todoroki is really good at holding on to a grudge. And that is when lowly Midoriya steps up to the plate to defeat All-for-One once and for all. All-for-One once and for all. Yeah. Every season of the show thus far has given us at least one Midoriya proves how awesome he is moment, and I think this could be the very best one. Speaking of Midoriya awesome moments, there's still a big loose end from his last one when he defeated Overhaul. Eri helped Midoriya use his powers to their max, but we still don't exactly know how those powers work. The big mystery here is that Eri's horn shrank after the whole Overhaul thing went down. We do know that she has the rewind quirk that allows her to return a body to its previous state. It's possible that there's a reciprocal nature to this power on her own body. It's entirely possible that the more she uses her powers, the more they go away. Speaking of special powers, what we will certainly get in Season 5 is an expansion of the extended cast in My Hero Academia. Knowing this series, the class will undoubtedly be given some kind of over-the-top superhero exam that requires them to push themselves harder than they thought possible. Go beyond! You know, plus ultra. You gotta wonder what the education budget for UA is if they've got a surplus of giant robots on hand. Also, at some point, I think they're going to strip them all of their powers so that they can make them learn to fight villains even if their quirks are nullified. Imagine if all of them had to take on the teachers with no quirks. Even for UA, that would be hard. As for the class is concerned, there's still a big challenge that needs to be dealt with. The big three were introduced at the end of Season 3 and are obviously set up to be competition for our heroes. Heck, freaking Mirio practically took down the whole class all by himself. It'll still be a while before our heroes rank in the big leagues with guys like Endeavor or Hawks, but they can still take down the big three as another benchmark for their progression. As for progression, there's no doubt that Midoriya won't be the only hero whose power will grow in the next season. For starters, the resident hothead Bakugou still has a thing or two to prove after the whole League of Villains fiasco. It's likely that he still holds that chip on his shoulder from All For One's final showdown revolving around saving him. I expect that Bakugou is going to keep pushing himself until he's able to practically blow up a building with almost no effort. Now that Endeavor is hero numero uno, it only seems right that Todoroki would also push his powers in new directions to differentiate himself more from Endeavor. While he's mastered both his fire and ice powers, there are certainly more combinations of the two that he could play with in the season. Then there's the rest of Midoriya's class. It would be cool to see them advance as well. Uraraka has been a fixture of the series since the very beginning, but has never really been a powerhouse. I think it would be pretty cool to see her gravity manipulation powers get a serious upgrade. Imagine if she gained complete control over gravity itself. She could crush somebody with just a touch. That, combined with her tactical mind, would make her one of the most formidable students in the entire school. It would be kinda cool if her, Deko, and Bakugou or Todoroki became the new big three at the end of Season 5. Also, are her and Midoriya actually gonna get together in Season 5? This really doesn't need to be a Hinata-Naruto situation. We don't need 3,000 episodes of shy blushing until they actually date. It is kinda what people their age are known for. Except for me. I was really cool in high school. I really hope characters like Tokoyami, Tenya, and Momo continue their development as well. The series will undoubtedly end with the entire class as the greatest heroes in the world. I sincerely hope that this isn't going to turn out to be one of those anime where Deku becomes so much more powerful than the rest of the characters that they basically get sidelined for the rest of the series. The very best ensemble anime are the ones where all the characters more or less progress together. So far, My Hero Academia has done a pretty good job of that, so I'm not that worried. This all sets the stage for the inevitable reveal of the true powerhouse hiding in UA. That's right, I'm talking about the one hero who's been slowly gaining power over the years. Mineta. I have little doubt that the entire series will finally end with Mineta reigning over the entire world. The Grape Juice Empire will never fail. Just kidding. As far as evil empires go, there's still the whole League of Villains problem. Ever since All For One got taken down, the League has been taking hits. We're well past the time for Shigaraki to bring the League back with a vengeance. Now's the perfect time for the League to go to the next level as more villains are popping up thanks to both Destro's autobiography and Stain's philosophy. If there was ever a time for Shigaraki to get out of All For One's long shadow, it would be now. They've been building him up as a villain for 4 years, and it's about time he proves just how formidable he is. Sir Nighteye did predict that All Might would lose his life at some point in the future. Is there really anyone who would be better suited to taking the famous hero down than Shigaraki? The guy has a hand for a mask. It's about time he earned that level of creepiness. It's also way past time for us to find out who the heck that mole was in Season 1. You can't just bring up a massive possibility like that and then drop it forever. I mean, we've all been speculating about it for years. Let us know in the comments who you think it might be if there's one at all. You all know my thoughts on the matter. Grape Juice Empire. Just saying. While most of us don't know what's going on in Season 5, there are those among us who know exactly what we have to expect. That's right, the oracles of the anime fandom, the readers of the sacred texts. You know, the manga, just in case you didn't get what I was going for there. I'm not gonna drop any spoilers about what's coming next, but I don't think anyone would mind a few juicy hints to wet your whistle during this long wait for the next season. Apparently, we've got something called the Joint Training Arc coming up next that the CBR manga scholars tell me is quite exciting. Not only that, but we also have a major Endeavor storyline that's set to really shake things up. There also may or may not be a major plotline coming involving the villains, which my sources tell me will be super awesome once the anime gets to it. Not only that, but we are definitely getting some expansion into that dream sequence of Midoriya's. If you are worried that would be a plot line that would be dropped for a few seasons, I'd say everything's going to be just fine. Our entire concept of the one-for-all quirk is going to be spun on its head, as Midoriya confronts the checkered past of his inherited quirk. Let's just say that not every user of the ability has been quite like All Might. There's also an arc called the Mineta World Conqueror arc, but I've got no idea what that could be about. The only spoilers that I'll share is that we have another season of great action sequences, thoughtful character development, and major twists ahead. So that means, as excited as you think you are now, prepare to get even more so when that release date for Season 5 drops. Rest assured, My Hero Academia fans, the best is yet to come. And there you have it. Everything we think is coming from the next season of My Hero Academia. What do you guys think will happen in the new season? Any fights you want to see? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more MHA action from CBR.